Autism Intervention Training Part 2, Using Reinforcers During Discrete Trial Training. In this video, we'll explain why we use reinforcers to provide some key points on how to use them to maximize their effectiveness. A reinforcer is anything contingent on behavior that increases the likelihood of behavior reoccurring. Reinforcers are rewards that we can use to signal to the child that he or she has responded correctly and to encourage the child to respond the same way again. Reinforcers provide motivation and essential feedback to the child and strengthen learned behavior. There are an endless variety of ways that you can reinforce a child. Here is a list of few reinforcements: food, toys, physical touch, ending the task, praise, counters or tokens. The most basic type of reinforcer that you can use is food or a drink. If you can give a child a piece of a desired food or a scent of the favorite beverage after responding correctly to the task, the child will be more likely to respond the same way again. Food or drink can be excellent reinforcers, especially at the beginning of therapy when you were still determining what the child might find rewarding. Other reinforcers include favorite toys, physical touch, and activities such as pickles, bouncing, the rides, hugs as rewards for correct responses. If the child enjoys these things, they can be wonderful reinforcers. Another useful reinforcer is a task avoidance. Ending the task at hand can be very rewarding for many children. Removing the teaching material from the table, throwing away quiz cards as they are finished, or allowing the child to get up and leave can be very potential reinforcer. So while the child is engaged in an activity with total attention, and as the activity finishes, drop it all down, and then you see how effective it becomes with the child. Another important type of reinforcer is a verbal praise. Verbal praise is a bit different from the reinforcers mentioned so far, because most children with autism will likely to be different to the verbal praise at first. However, verbal praise is very commonly used in our society today. Therefore, it is important to teach children with autism to learn how to enjoy it. To accomplish this, we must always include verbal praise with the other type of reward that we use. By consistently praising verbally with other rewards such as food, toys or physical touch, the children will slowly learn to enjoy it. The last type of reinforcer that we will discuss are the counters or the token system. Counters or the tokens are used. The child earn tokens or points that can be exchanged for a reward. Here is an example of the counters in which the children must earn all the pieces of puzzles in order to get the end reward. So what do we do? Come on, let's give a child multiple number of cards and then in turn start fixing these puzzles as tokens, and once the puzzle is complete, then the child gets an eventual reward. So now 3 cards are put and we ask the child, point out shoe. Wow, well done, and here you get a token. Fix it in your puzzle. Very well done. So let's play it again. Alright, indicate where is the shoe. Wow, you're so good. Here comes another puzzle piece for you. And now tell me, where is the shoe? Oh, wow, you are amazing. Let's put the puzzle back into the And now it's again your turn. Shoo! Wow! Very, very well done. Another puzzle point for you. Indicate the shoe. Super! You are an excellent kid. And see how the puzzle is getting completed. You make it till the child master to learn. Show the shoe again. Yay! Here we go. And here we see that all the puzzle is complete. And after the puzzle gets complete, you get a cookie. Wow, the yummy cookie. So this is the way we use the verbal praise to ensure that the child gets the understanding. Counters and tokens tends to be used when children are slightly more advanced in their treatment programs. They allow us to teach children to work for a short period of time without receiving a concrete reward. Many different kinds of counters can be generated, and we can vary the number of responses needed to get at the end reward. We have explained what reinforcers are. Let's talk about why we use them. One reason we use reinforcement is to provide a feedback about the correct response, because the children with autism have difficulty processing language. We must rely on reinforcers to let the children know when they have responded the way we want them to respond. The second reason why we use reinforcement is to motivate the child to learn. Points to maximize the effectiveness of reinforcement. Deliver immediately after the correct response. Enthusiastic and involved manner. Varied reward. The reinforcement must be immediate, because if reinforcement is delayed, we might inadvertently reinforce something the child performed after the target behavior. By reinforcing immediately, we let the child know clearly which response was correct. Reinforcement is also more effective if we involve ourselves in whatever type of reinforcement we are using. Make a play fun. For example, if you are giving a child a piece of food, instead of just placing it on the table for the child, we can fly it like an aeroplane. Hey, here comes the chips for you. It is possible that the puzzles may itself work like a reinforcer for the child. The last point is to ensure that the reinforcement is varied. Varying reinforcement means two things. First, we must constantly change the reinforcers. Second, we must vary the intensity of the reinforcement depending on how the child responds. Constantly changing a reinforcement means that reinforcer should not be used more than twice in a row, because another reinforcer is substituted. If a child is given the same reinforcer repeatedly, the child will get bored with it and no longer will find it rewarding. So this is called satiation, and it can generally slow down the progress of the child. Varying the intensity of reinforcement is called differential reinforcement. Differential reinforcement means that the child will receive a more preferred reward for a better effort or a well executed response. By saving the best reinforcers for the child's biggest effort, we encourage the child to put forth maximum effort. Now that we have defined reinforcers and talked about how to use them, we need to discuss how to develop new reinforcers. We must be constantly searching for new and effective reinforcers in order to verify them and avoid satiation. One way of developing new reinforcers is to observe what the child enjoys during free play. Favorite toys can be preferred for use in therapy or used as a reward after therapy. If the child likes television, he or she could earn tokens towards watching 5 minutes of television. Another way of finding new reinforcement is to modify a child's existing self-stimulatory behavior. Gazing at a light, arm flapping, spinning, and lining things up in a row are all common self-stimulatory behaviors. It is possible to modify these behaviors so that they are non-disruptive and more socially acceptable. For example, if the child likes to gaze at a light, you could teach the child to enjoy playing with the kaleidoscope and then use that toy as a reward. Finally, you can test for new reinforcers using a reinforcement survey. To do this, present the child with a choice of 2 potential reinforcers and keep track of which one the child chooses. Once you find the reinforcer that works to motivate the child, you should not allow the child to play with that outside the therapy. And within the therapy, you should limit the time that the child has access to the reinforcer to about 10 to 20 seconds each time it is used. By reserving reinforcers for therapy, you increase the chances that the child will remain interested in them and motivated to learn. So far in this video, we have defined reinforcement and given some examples of different types of reinforcers. We explained why we use reinforcers and provided some examples of how to use them to maximize their effectiveness. We also discussed ways to develop reinforcers that are the most effective for child. I hope that you have found today's training video useful, and I would like to wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.